Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. I'm Joanne Hennig with Photo Art Pavilion. This is this month's J&J Photo Art Marketing Cafe. Everything looks good on my end. I hope everything looks good on your end. And I'd just like to get started. Jessica, if you wanted to say a few words.
Sure, of course. Definitely happy with this topic. It really is such a great topic that I think we all kind of struggle with is, cutting through on the social media front and to really become more visible to your three Fs, family, friends, and fans. And Joanne, I know you did a lot to put this together, so I don't want to take up too much time. But I am really happy to have everyone with us today, and I hope this presentation definitely helps you in your art business.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. It's a topic that truthfully I could probably spend the rest of the year going over. Cutting through the noise on social media is a daunting task, but it's something that if we are making use of social media to promote our art, we have to go through it. So um, let's just kind of have a loose discussion. It shouldn't be a long presentation. I don't think this should run more than 10 minutes, and then we'll open it up to the Q&A as per usual. So the first thing we want to be able to do is we want to be able to stand out from the crowd, right? Social media platforms, they're flooded with a staggering amount of content ranging from photos, videos, text posts, hashtags, advertisements, reels, you name it. This saturation makes it difficult for all of us to capture the attention of our target audiences. And by now, you should know who your target audience is, or you should have an idea that you're working towards who your target audience is. People, we're guilty as well. We tend to have a short attention span on social media, but you as an artist must find ways to quickly capture and retain your audience's interest amidst a user's rapid scrolling behavior. I find myself doing the same thing. I'm a scroller, but also there are times where I stop my scrolling because something catches my eye or my attention. And that's what we're looking to try and get to today. And just when you think you have it all nailed and you have everything running nice and smoothly, then social media comes along and it changes their algorithms and it impacts the visibility of your content, and you get snuffed out a little bit to your target users' feed. So that's why we have to adapt our own strategies accordingly to ensure that our posts reach our intended audience. And we have to keep an eye on that on a regular basis. To stand out, we may feel pressured to compromise our artistic integrity or adapt trends that are popular but not necessarily authentic to our own style or our own voice. On the contrary, having a unique presence helps you stand out from the crowd, showcasing your distinctive style, your voice, your perspective. You will be able to capture the interest of new followers and the all important art enthusiast. So once again, I am Joanne Hennig. I am founder, curator, and fine art photographer with Photo Art Pavilion. And let's dig into the rest of this topic. So initially, what we want to be able to do is we want to create compelling visual social media content. But what does that really mean? We all think our content is very visual, very compelling, correct? Well, for starters, we have to always begin the content that we present on social media to be that of a high resolution image or a high resolution video. So this way we can showcase our artwork in the best possible light. We want to be able to pay attention to the compositions, the lighting, and the framing of our visual content so that the posts remain appealing. Sometimes I might have a vertical image that I'm looking to put up on social media, and I might put it through a reel, and sometimes it crops it in a weird way. We want to kind of just be a little bit mindful of those types of things, but we want to keep our composition, our lighting, our framing all within the realm that keeps the image itself and the social media post itself in the best possible light for everybody. We want to be able to have it visually interesting always, and we want it to be dynamic. Social media platforms and even direct email campaigns, it's okay to crop your high resolution images down. It's recommended that we do about 1080 by 1080 pixels for a square crop, or 1080 by 1920 pixels for rectangular crops before you go ahead and post them. This will avoid any pixelation and your image will remain clear and detailed. I've seen too many artists crop their images down and not really put them to the right size. And then when they put them up on social media, they get a little wonky looking and not really as vibrant as they should be. So pay attention to those numbers. Your videos also should be a 4K resolution. And then you want to optimize those for social media. I typically use iMovie for some of my posts, and I can optimize using iMovie onto the social media platforms. But most of the social media platforms will do the optimization for you as you upload the images. Like I've also used Canva and some other tools that I have, apps that I've downloaded on my cell phone to create reels and stories for, let's say, Instagram and Facebook. And when I upload them, they optimize automatically according to the social media platform that's taking them in. So make sure your visuals are high quality. Uh, uh, they have to remain high quality because that's how you're going to get your professionalism across to your audience and the attention of your users as they're scrolling through their feeds. So now that you have your content ready for posting, let's take a look at bringing your personality and your storytelling into the equation. Infusing your personality into social media posts can be done in a variety of ways. The posts should look, feel, and be authentic. Showcasing your unique voice, your sense of humor, some quirkiness. These are all things that are okay to put through your social media posts, because after all, we are human. We are not robots. We're not AI. You know, some of you might be using AI to craft some of your posts. You're not a robot. Take some assistance when you can get it, absolutely, but make sure you always put your sense of humor, your unique voice, and your quirkiness into what it is that you're posting. So here's an example that I came up with that might inch your brand forward with the intent to create an emotional connection to your audience. You could do something like uh, a series. You create a series of posts that maybe you'll run over a 6 week period, or maybe even a longer length of time, but doing it on a consistent basis. So this is one that I thought about, doing a smart fine art photography hacks. So having this, let's say, go out once a week on a Monday or a Tuesday or whatever day, and where I come up with clever techniques and shortcuts while injecting humor into the explanation. So one might be do-it-yourself soft focus filter. So how do I give my photos that dreamy, ethereal look without splurging on expensive camera gear? Introducing my do-it-yourself soft focus filter. Grab an old pair of pantyhose. Don't worry, I won't judge you. Stretch the pantyhose over your lens and secure it with a rubber band for an instant softening effect that rivals even the fanciest of lenses. Plus, you'll have a newfound appreciation for the versatility of pantyhose. Who knew they were a multi-purpose accessory? And then I add a few hashtags in there just to keep it light and easy. Again, what I'm doing here is I'm giving a helpful tip. Good to give something away. It might also help you explain how you got a certain image to be produced in a certain way when it's all said and done. So these little fun interjections of what you can put on social media are always a great thing, because if you're just posting pictures, after a while that gets boring and people are going to scroll past you. So here's another series that you might want to take a look at that might be utilizing more of your storytelling. So creating a series called Fine Art Photography Inspiration Posts, where you share what inspired you to create certain pieces, because after all, every picture tells a story, don't it? Examples that I came up with, this actually just comes off a new series that I just created, Fine Art Photography Inspirations, Eternal Tides. My latest series, Eternal Tides, was inspired by a stunning art piece gracing the walls of a dear friend's home and fueled by the endless inspiration of recent travels, surrounded by the rhythmic embrace of the ocean. I was called to embark on a journey of exploration and creation. So what I've done there is I've humanized my art to foster a stronger emotional connection with anyone that's following my posts. And this is the essence of adding personality and storytelling into your social media posts. So now you create the art. Why not create artful social media posts? I mean, I think the two should go hand in hand. You spend your time going to different locations to shoot. You use a creative eye to line up all the elements that make for a great image. You then bring your raw files into Photoshop and Lightroom, and you stretch your in-field creativity further using your digital darkroom. Your art piece is perfect and it's ready for the world to see, but how do you make it pop? And that's the idea. We want to get through the noise. How do you make it pop on social media? So one suggestion is to explore various formats, which I kind of touched on a little bit earlier, like utilizing either carousels or slideshows, reels, interactive stories to keep your audience engaged and encourage them to spend more time interacting with your content. There's a lot of multimedia elements that you can add to your post once you get them up on social media. You can add GIFs, you can add links, you can add music to your videos. You can also add other entertainment value to your posts. You want to try and make them as eye-catching and as likable as possible. The elements that are necessary for effective visual content are high-quality images we talked about, brilliant compositions, and then, of course, bringing that consistent branding into everything that it is that you're doing. But above all, you want to keep your social media content fresh and engaging. Remaining authentic and consistent, very, very, very critical. Authenticity, consistency, foundations are the foundational pillars in building the trust and the rapport with your audience across social media and your direct email campaigns. I don't want, even though this workshop or this marketing cafe is about social media, this is also should relate to your email campaigns as well. So we want to make sure that we're being genuine, that we're being transparent in our interactions. We want to allow our audience to connect with the real us and the brand that's behind the content. So we really have to kind of, loosen ourselves up a little bit and get ourselves out there. We want to be consistent with putting our posts up there. We want to maintain a cohesive voice, a cohesive style, and a message that resonates across our all of our communication channels. Consistency also reinforces our brand identity, and we've talked about that in the past as well. Yes, most of you that are on this marketing cafe are part of Photo Art Pavilion, and you have your online galleries with Photo Art Pavilion, but you still are your own voice, your own identity, your own brand. So I encourage you to utilize that when you're going through posting your social media posts. You can always drive your traffic to your Photo Art Pavilion gallery page or a specific art piece that's on Photo Art Pavilion to reinforce that purchase opportunity with your followers. So keep that in mind as you're doing what it is that you're doing. You're not only fostering trust, but you're also strengthening a bond with your audience. And these things lead to increased engagement and loyalty and ultimately into conversion. So I encourage you to share with your social media audience what drives your creative process. So now we're going to get into this personal stuff, this authentic stuff, right? What drives your creative process? Talk to your audience about that. Maintain consistency with your visual style. Do you have a logo that you utilize? Make sure you use that repeatedly in your posts. Talk to them about behind the scenes glimpses into your creative process. Sometimes if you have your phone with you, you can kind of go through the process of where you are with your camera and bringing those images onto your computer, taking it from there, how you're doing your process work, and then bringing it out for your audience to see. Maybe the final print in your hand, framed, etc. That creative process is very, audiences love that kind of stuff. So you want to actively engage your audience. Obviously, that helps. And of course, inject your personality. An artist who is effectively utilizing compelling visual content and authenticity to cut through the noise on social media is typically an artist that showcases their artistic style or direction using intricate detail with a touch of humor, as I touched on that a little bit earlier. You don't need to just slap an image onto a platform's feed. Anybody can do that. We're, a bazillion people on the planet. People are doing this all day long, taking an image off their phone and throwing it up on social media. What are you doing to separate yourself from all that noise? And of course, being transparent, and you're a little open up a little bit of vulnerability of who you are, that resonates with your audience. It fosters a strong sense of connection, and it's the real world that you want to have on display, your real world that you want to have on display. So some practical tips I'm going to give you just to kind of roll over. Again, what resonates with you, what doesn't, but try to see if there's something here that you can latch onto and perhaps make it yours and going forward on a regular basis. But you want to develop a consistent posting schedule. That's important with what you're doing on social media. Quality over quantity. If you're the type of artist that just keeps slapping stuff onto social media without, like willy-nilly, that's probably not going to be of benefit to you. You want to engage your audience as often as possible. So if they are leaving a comment or liking your post or something along those lines, make sure you go back and acknowledge the fact that they did that for you. It's very important. Utilize hashtags whenever you can. Try to collaborate with other artists. That's a little side note that I try to always instill. I try to collaborate. My collaboration is grabbing another photographer and saying, hey, let's go out and shoot. Because now working with somebody side by side, you just get a little bit of a competitive edge, but it also translates into what I walk away with in my camera. Share the behind the scenes content, and then utilize stories, reels, and live videos. And one thing I have at the very bottom of this screen is using @everyone or @followers. This is something that we've utilized with Photo Art Pavilion in a good amount of our posts, so that if we have a post that we're really looking to reach beyond the initial folks that are following us, the initial eyeballs, we throw the @everyone into the comments or into the actual text area of the post, or @followers, and that helps more people get connected to what it is that we're doing. I know for me, like sometimes I'll open up Facebook on my phone, and it'll say, so and so tagged me in a post. I'm like, huh. I go over there. I really don't see my name, but I do see that they have either @followers or @everyone inside of their commentary, and that everybody that's either a follower or everyone that's in their purview is going to get a notification to go take a look at that post. So a little interesting. Interesting. So cutting through the noise, in the ever expanding realm of social media, standing out can feel like a daunting challenge. Some of you get a little overwhelmed with this, but as creators, we possess a unique power, the power to harness our creativity and authenticity to captivate and inspire others. So let's not shy away from the opportunity. Instead, let's embrace it wholeheartedly by infusing our posts with genuine passion, authenticity, and a dash of our distinct personality, our humor. We can cut through the noise and carve out our own space in the digital landscape. We want to leverage our creativity, as that's our greatest asset. We already have the tools. We're artists. We have the tools. We have the digital tools. So let's make them our greatest asset. Let's empower ourselves to rise above the crowd and achieve the visibility and the success we all deserve. And remember, your voice is unique. Your art is valuable. And your presence on social media is an opportunity that's waiting to be seized. So I want to thank you all for being with us today. I know I sometimes drone on a little bit with my conversation here, but I know we're going to jump over to the Q&A. Just wanted to see if Jessica has anything to add to this conversation at this time.
Of course I do. That was fantastic, Joanne. Thank you for presenting this information. And I have two things to bring up, and one of them is To be unique, people connect with people. I know I say it all the time, but it's true. So, through the Insta world or Facebook world, people are constantly scrolling. You have a higher chance of them stopping when they see a human face versus just the art. So, if there's a way to create a video, to take a selfie when you're in the field, or even if you're out photographing with a fellow photographer or a friend, you're taking a walk through the woods with your camera, just ask them to take a quick selfie of you, either photographing something or just walking. And again, people want to see you do things. Like we're in a world where people are attracted to seeing other people doing things that they're not doing, right? So how can you be unique? Well, show them your lifestyle. Show them a little bit of what you're doing with your passion with photography. It's your art business. People want to connect with what you're doing. Same thing with art collectors, art buyers. It makes your art more valuable when they're able to see the time and energy that goes into creating the art itself. So try to give them a little glimpse inside. I know we like being behind the lens, but I'm telling you, you'll see a big change in your interactions and your comments. Again, these are your 3 Fs. So family, friends, and fans. These people want to see you and they want to see what you're doing and how you're creating the art you're creating. They already love your art. Show them more. Show them the nitty-gritty and the personalization of the art itself. Okay. That's a huge chunk.
And that's exactly it. So if we really want to break through the noise of social media, we have to be authentic. We have to be personal. We just have to have our personality come through the screen and onto whatever digital device the viewer is utilizing. And that's why I think it's a great idea to don't be afraid to be yourself when you're writing your content that goes on the social media post, and try to make use of, whenever possible, something different than just a static image. If you can add some kind of video, if you can start playing around with reels, give yourself one of the things I don't think I mentioned today was if you have a calendar of your marketing plan for, let's say, month after month. Every Monday you're doing this, every Tuesday you're doing that, whatever it is, or once a week you're doing it all, whatever it is. Inject in there, in that calendar, in that schedule of your to-dos, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to learn reels this week or this month. And then once you get the process of how that goes and how you can create that, the next thing you know, you'll be doing that on a regular basis. And now you're a multi-dimensional social media poster, a social media engager. I do stories, I do reels, I do some posts with music. Sometimes I do just a static post. Sometimes I do the carousel, where I'll have, let's say, all 4 or 5 black and whites, and the person can scroll through the images to see all those black and whites. Multifaceted is the approach when it comes to breaking through the noise on social media. So this is part of, I think, the good stuff with Photo Art Pavilion. It's just more than a display, gallery, sales platform. It's a community of artists. We're here to help one another grow, be visible, and share opportunity for success. So thank you, Jim. Thank you, Sharon, for participating in the Q&A. Well, I think then at this point, at 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. in New York, we're going to call this a wrap.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you, everyone. Joanne, thank you. This is a great topic.
Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.